Let's round up all of the new smart home, Matter, and HomeKit devices to be announced at CES 2024. This roundup of smart home essentials is brought to you by Doe and its new Spectrum One monitor. This is a 27-inch 4K HDR monitor that I've been testing out here before the show. With the optional Spectrum stand, you can move it up and down, as well as route your cables through and even rotate it. There's a plethora of ports available to you, running down both the side and the bottom of this wonderful monitor. On the side, you'll see multiple ports, including 2 USB-A ports, a headphone jack, and a USB-C port. On the bottom side of the monitor, again, you're going to have USB-C as well as USB Type-B, then 2 HDMI, and a display port import. With its 600 nits of brightness, it bests many other monitors in its class that only have around 400 nits of brightness, giving you great image quality. You can opt for several different glass finishes. There's anti-glare and a standard gloss, though the one that we got to check out is the one with the Gorilla Glass. And fun fact, if you didn't know, Apple actually uses Gorilla Glass on many of its products, including the iPhone. So really cool to see it used here in this monitor. If you are interested, there's a link for the new Spectrum One Doe monitor down below in the description. Thank you, Doe, for sponsoring this video. Now, let's kick off our smart home roundup with Roborock. Roborock was back at CES with another iterative update on its flagship vacuum cleaner. So this is the S8 MaxV Ultra, and there's quite a few changes this time around. To start, they brought back the camera on the front, which does help with AI object detection. On the side here, you'll notice we have an extending arm with that spinning brush, which will help it get into corners much better than it could before. It actually pivots out quite a bit, and I saw this being tested on the show floor, and it was really cool to see how you'd get close to a corner using LiDAR, then it would spin out, get all the way in that corner, collecting any dust or debris that was trapped there. So that's definitely going to help increase the coverage of this vacuum cleaner. Second, there's also a tiny little spinning brush you can see there on the side, which also helps mop very close to the walls, closer than previous versions. This has 10,000 pascals of suction. There's an on-device robotic assistant that you can optionally use. For Apple HomeKit users, this will include support for Matter, which will bring this into the Home app for the very first time. Another major change here with the actual robot itself is the mop on the bottom. This mop can now increase its lift height to 20 millimeters. It was only 5 before. Now it's 4 times that height. You can see here on a carpet, there's enough room to stick basically your whole hand under there without the mop touching it. So that was a huge improvement for anyone with a lot of carpets. There are 2 versions of the docking station here. The one on your left is your typical one that we have seen before. On top are the 2 water tanks, dirty and clean water. On the front is now where it has relocated the dustbin too, but I'll show you that in a second, because you can also get a version without those water tanks. It's only 30 centimeters tall, and it allows you to connect it directly to the water lines of your house to completely automate it. So here is the relocated dustbin, and you can even add the mopping solution so you don't have to worry about it. Next up is Pawport. Now this is not HomeKit specifically or Matter, but it does work with Hey Apple Assistant, so you can still control it with your voice. This will essentially lay over top of basically any existing pet door that you may have, and it makes it smart. You can completely control everything through the app, so you can control when it has access. The dogs will have collars on them, or maybe even cats, and then when they go up to the door, it can let them out or back in, and it actually prevents them from going in and out of doors that they're not supposed to. So if they approach another door, it would not open for them, but they can only go through doors that they are allowed and at certain times of day. And again, you can control it with your voice with Apple Assistant. TP-Link has a new Tapo line, so there's several products to look at, starting with this T500, I believe, which is a smart home hub. So this will allow you to connect up to 64 different accessories to it, so sensors and lights and everything. On the back is expansion options, including HDMI, USB, and USB-C. It has storage inside, which can be upgraded with a USB, SSD, or HDD, and you can put your tablet on the front and turn it into a great whole home modern experience, and of course works via Matter. This is a 3-port surge protector and 3-port smart switch. So the ones on the left are all smart controlled outlets, and on the ones on the right here, those are just your standard outlets. They have 3 USB ports on the side, 2 USB-A, 1 USB-C, capable of up to 18 watts of power. In total, that is 9 outputs, but again, 3 of them can be controlled through HomeKit and Matter. We have seen 3-port surge protectors before in Apple Home, but this is the first one I've seen that has like 9 output options. This is the TP-Link Tapo Smart Door Lock, and it has been kind of the talk of the show for smart home users. So it is a door lock, but it also has an integrated doorbell. So you can see the camera there at the top, as well as the button people can use to ring it. There are 7 different ways to get in, from fingerprint to Apple Home to like NFC, I believe. There's passcode options, so many different ones here. Now, the TP-Link representative did tell me that this supports Apple HomeKit Secure Video, but this is 2K video, which isn't even supported in Apple Home, so I'm not 100% certain on that. But I did want to mention it, that that's what I was told, but we'll see. But either way, it still looks like a very compelling door lock. Ecovacs is out with their newest model of smart vacuum cleaner. So they've taken their X2 Omni, I believe is what it was called, and now they've turned it into a combo device. So it's the X2 Combo that has this smart robotic vacuum cleaner on the left and a handheld vacuum cleaner on the right, giving you kind of a whole home solution. So you can pull that up, go clean your car, clean your drapes, whatever, and then send the vacuum out to do the rest. I love this kind of whole home approach to it. There's a little bin down at the bottom where it can hold all of your different cleaning utensils, like the crevice tool, multi-surface tool. It is an upcharge if you'd like the actual stick vac part, like the part with the roller head and everything, because it's made out of metal versus just plastic. But still, I love the idea of this thing. It is not upgradable, so if you already had like the X2 vacuum by itself, you can't just add on the vacuum on the side, but I really love this idea. I think it's a very good upgrade, and it's one of the first ones that I've seen to actually do this. Next up is still from Ecovacs, but they are entering a new space, so it's still the robotics, but it's your yard. This is their new GOAT lawnmower. So it's using a lot of the same AI functionality and mapping features as their indoor vacuum cleaners, but they've brought it to your yard. It's able to identify different objects and avoid them, mulching up things like pet waste and small twigs. It looks like a really solid robotic vacuum cleaner for your yard. I am very excited to test this out when it launches earlier this spring. So this spring is when we're going to see both the new Ecovacs indoor vacuum cleaner and this GOAT lawnmower. There's a bunch of onboard controls as well. So if we lift up the top, you can see all the controls where you can make adjustments and an emergency stop button if you need to. The blades are not attached on this demo model, but yes, this thing looks very tough. Nanoleaf's skylight panels are finally available to order, or at least pre-order. So these come in a 3-pack, but you can of course expand them. These are meant to be installed on your ceiling, not just on a counter like this, and they'll basically replace your lights. They are flat, multicolored, and super cool. The next one are these pendant lights, which they're calling string lights, which I find a little misleading personally, but they're basically pendant lights that are going to work outdoors, hang these above your patio, full color, as well as being able to adjust like the brightness on them. I think these are going to be really popular when they launch early this year. On top of that, they have like these cool kind of multifaceted exteriors, which as you can see here as they're on this surface, give this almost like shimmering look and cast all these lights down in colors. I think they are fantastic. There's a new Matter-enabled light strip, so this is part of their Essentials line. It's RGBIC, which means it has multiple addressable zones. So it isn't just one color all the way through, it is multiple colors. Then there are new permanent outdoor lights, so these are meant to be installed on your house, Matter enabled, install them on there, leave them, good to go. So yeah, string lights, there's the Essentials light strip with multi-colors, there is the permanent outdoor lights, and there's some new orchestrator software that allows you to sync your lights with music, but a lot more impressively than you could before. So lots of neat products here from Nanoleaf. Aqara had a lot on display at CES, starting with its new U300 door lock. So this is an indoor-outdoor lever lock, which is great for a bunch of different scenarios, like your garage, a shed, or maybe an indoor home office. You can see there's a keypad on there. It works with Apple Home. There's a fingerprint sensor, which is perfectly placed, like right when you grab the handle, you can authenticate, gain access. but hiding behind that fingerprint sensor is a physical keyhole. So there's still that backup option, but it's hidden, so people don't necessarily know that it's there. Then there is the new Hub M3. This may be available in certain markets already, but this is a sleeper hit of a product for me. So new Hub works with Zigbee, Wi-Fi, connected a ton of accessories to it. It can expose IR devices to Apple Home. There's Ethernet, and it supports Bluetooth now. So lots of cool benefits here. Thread is in there too. Speaking of Thread, this is the new smart plug that acts as a Thread border router, so you can extend that Thread network even further. Now, while I do like all these products, some of their concept devices are super cool, including this keypad that could be used for like unlocking your security system, or this garage door controller that can control 2 garage doors and has a little sensor to know if it's up or down. This is the Anthem digital shower experience from Kohler, and it is not Apple Home or Matter enabled, but it's too cool just to not mention. This is the on-wall control panel that gives you so many different options in terms of like temperature, water effects. Assuming you've bought into this whole ecosystem, there was like so many different heads of shower doing different things at different speeds, all sorts of stuff. It was insane. It was really cool as far as like showers go, but I wish it worked with Matter or HomeKit. AirThings has been at CES for years, and we always check out their products, but they have never supported Apple Home or Matter until now. Starting with their View Plus air quality monitor, this will be updated to support Matter and Apple Home in that case, but they're also launching an air purifier. You can see how the front comes off. There's all these different levels of the filter inside, including this lovely layer of charcoal, which is going to be great for smells. So if you have a lot of pets in your house, this could be super crucial. There's a sensor in there that'll be able to tell you how often you should replace your filters based on actual usage. It's designed for the bedroom, so it's quite quiet and very lightweight. It can go up or down. Being updated here or launching with Matter support and Apple Home in that case, it is the Renew air purifier. Pretty excited for AirThings to finally enter that connected space. Mila 2 is one that we have seen before. So this is a very sleek designed air purifier that is being updated with support for HomeKit. So their latest version will have HomeKit support baked in, has like these wooden feet on it, this lovely cool body. There's a screen and basic controls here on the top. The filters are great, and this is one of the things that I've loved about them compared to some of the other ones, is not everyone has the same air, so you don't need the same filters. This one is designed more to get rid of that new home or paint smell. There's other ones that are designed for like parents with little kids. There's other ones that have like ammonia built in to help counteract smells from like say a litter box. Ultraloq has 2 versions here, or Utec has 2 Ultraloq versions here that work with Apple Home. The first is the Bolt NFC. This one is Wi-Fi connected and uses NFC for support for Home Key. So you can use Home Key digital cards to get into there. And it has a keypad as well. The secondary option, so this is the Home Key version, and then if we look at the other one, right above the keyhole, they put a fingerprint reader. So this is still Apple Home, but no Home Key. So you have to choose between Home Key and the fingerprint reader, whichever one you prefer. Personally, I like Home Key. This is the one that I would choose between the two of them, but still lots of other great features for the first Apple Home locks from Utec. Abode. This is not Matter or HomeKit enabled, but it's too cool not to mention. It is the Abode Edge camera, and it uses long-range Wi-Fi halo technology for up to 1.5 miles of connected range. That is great if you have a massive property or maybe a shed or something far away you're trying to cover. For me, I have my chicken coop. I want to cover that with a camera, and this is something that will work with that outside of, your other smart home networks that will not extend that far. Plus, as an added benefit, it uses AI to help extend the battery life and can help identify things like people, packages, or animals. Lockly, yet another Apple Home enabled lock. This is the Lockly Visage, which is not how I expected to pronounce that. Works with both Matter and Apple Home. The other thing it supports is Home Key. So a bunch of different ways to authenticate here. You can see there's an on-screen keypad that actually rotates the numbers every time you go to use it, so it makes it very hard for someone to peep what code you are using. But then there's two cameras on the front, so stereoscopic cameras that'll look at you as you approach, which is detected via radar, and then it'll authenticate you and then unlock with facial recognition. Very cool, very secure. The two cameras give it a 3D image, so things like a photograph will not work. It'll also has a thermometer in there, so it'll be able to test temperature, so a mask won't be able to work. Very secure. There's a fingerprint reader, Apple HomeKit built in, so much tech, Wi-Fi with like a year battery life. Xgimi has a new smart projector. There's one that's launching in Japan that like is a ceiling light and is very cool. You can see it in the corner there. But the main one is this, and I love the aesthetics of it. It can move around in the room to find like the perfect positioning when it's actually casting the image up on the wall, and it is IMAX enhanced. I walked in on a demo of this and it looks really, really good. I was super impressed with the picture quality here. Since we are talking about Apple Home, it does support AirPlay, so you can cast to it directly from your phone or your Mac. Then on the back, there are two USB ports as well as two HDMI ports. Really cool. Again, there's another shot of that other one that's launching in other markets that's built into a light. The Mui board is back at CES. This is their Gen 2 version, and it is now, finally, officially Matter certified. So it is Matter certified. You can control your Matter accessories, whether it is like a ceiling fan, it could be a lamp maybe, or maybe you have a thermostat that is Matter enabled. All that can be controlled from the Mui Board Gen 2. You can also have your sensors display on there. You can create your own scenes and automation, so that long press there in the center triggered the good night scene, which causes these lights to turn off or dim. Pressing it on the left side here as he does for the demo, that triggers like a good morning type scene, and these lights are going to go ahead and wake back up, which is really impressive considering we're on the show floor and connectivity is absolutely horrid. This is available to actually order this year, so it's on Kickstarter right now for pre-order. Full Matter certification already done. Govee, we're talking Matter again. They have a few new products that were of interest to Apple users, starting with their AI Sync Box Kit 2. So this uses AI to detect like what you're doing on screen, like the games that you are playing, and then it will use that to change the light. So it doesn't just mimic the color that is on screen, but it'll do things like if you unalive someone, maybe it'll flash red. All sorts of different stuff like that. Then there's a new version of their neon light strip, so second generation neon light strip. A few improvements here aside from Matter support. It is made from a new, much more flexible material, so you can put it on your wall, put it into like some neon shape, like a rope light or like a neon sign. And there's new clips that they're including that are easier to mount. So again, it'll give you more ability to create the designs you want on the wall. Finally, the GE Cync lineup. Matter was a big topic this year for GE. So the Cync line has a ton of Matter accessories that they are committing to, which is great because they previously used to use Bluetooth, which wouldn't work with Matter. But there's down lights, there are can lights, there are all these different bulbs. There's like those light effect ones here on the end that I love that look super cool, like filament style. There's a ton that they were walking through. Some of their new lights don't support Matter that have like dynamic effects, and I think that just makes things more confusing. I wish everything supported Matter and then just additional things in the app. This is another Matter-enabled product, which is a dual outdoor outlets, so independent control of two outlets. And then this, which might possibly be my favorite smart home device to launch because it is sorely needed in the Matter and Apple Home space, which are under cabinet lights. So you can string many of these together. They come in different sizes, but they're very nicely diffused. You can already see them in the background, lighting that cabinet for you. Really great for getting work done in the kitchen. I've used string lights in the past, and they don't work nearly as nice as this does, or strip lights, like whatever. This is much cooler. Plus, there's new Matter-enabled dimmers and remote switches, so you have multiple options for controlling them. You can have them come on to different brightnesses and different temperature hues based on the time of day. If you get like that wireless switch, you can have like a three-way setup going on, which some people may not have. I think these are going to be absolutely huge, and they support Matter, which brings them into Apple Home. So tons of benefit for the Apple user. There's also these other ones that can be mounted inside of the cabinet. If you had them professionally installed, they might be recessed up even more and not stick down, but still, I love it. Lots to love here at CES 2024. Let me know if I missed anything or what your favorite new smart home product was that'll be launching this year.